As part of our Grace Bible reading, we are recording short videos to help introduce us to the books that we are reading. This one is on 1 Thessalonians. It's a letter from the Apostle Paul to the church in Thessalonica, which is a church plant at the time, a year in the great city of Thessalonica, the capital of Macedonia, a Roman province with a population of about 100,000 people. The church has begun in pretty dramatic circumstances. You can read about them in Acts 18. I recommend that you do before you start reading the book. And we see that the Thessalonians first heard about Jesus when Paul and his apostolic team, including Silas and Timothy, preached the good news that Jesus has died in their place, has risen again from the dead, has ascended on high, poured out his Spirit, begun the church, and actually now those who put their faith in him will be saved, can know God, and will live forever. And very quickly a church plant is formed. People come to faith. God does extraordinary work where many people come to faith at once. But the Jewish leaders get jealous and they stir up a crowd and they hunt down the Christians to make an example of them before the authorities of the city. Their accusation? I love this accusation. These men have turned the world upside down. Wouldn't it be great if that was our accusation in this city for us and for other churches? Paul and his team are forced in that moment to flee on to the next city. They end up in Corinth. Now, the letter was sent just after Timothy had visited again, and it becomes abundantly clear that this apostolic team have an ongoing relationship with the church. If you read it in Acts 2:8, they are affectionately desirous of you, Paul says. We were ready to share with you not only the gospel of God, but also our own selves, because you had become very dear to us. And actually that reminds me of the relationship that we have with the guys in advance, with these other churches, and the support that we've had and continue to have in prayer and prophetic words given to us as people pray for us, and people coming and preaching in our context and helping us and lifting the phone to leaders in the church. We just love being a part of the family of churches of Advance, and it really does feel like there is a great apostolic effort as people work together and certain people come and serve us so well, and it feels to me like they're affectionately desirous of us. Paul is really concerned for the people in Thessalonica, and it's really obvious as you go through that they're under quite a bit of opposition. Now, the opposition seems to be coming from two sides, not just the Jews who refused to believe that Jesus was the Messiah and got this crowd going, but also from polytheism, this idea that it's okay to worship many gods. In fact, they'd be encouraging people to be worshipping several gods, not just one. A very popular belief in a diverse and cosmopolitan city like that one, and actually one that we are not totally unfamiliar with. Paul's way of helping and comforting the church was to remind them of two things. Number one, you were chosen in eternity past. You have been sought out since before the foundations of the earth. God, who has always been, has chosen you. Your faith is secure. And number two, you have an eternal future. The King who rules and reigns will return. Jesus will return, not only to take us home, but also to judge. You will be vindicated. You will be brought home, and judgment, righteous judgment, will come. So as people tell us, hey, there's no real way of knowing the truth, and you guys are crazy, and who are you to say that there's only one way to live? Turn to 1 Thessalonians. It's going to be a great help and encouragement to us. Enjoy your reading.